We are here today to provide an update on our earlier media brief on 17th July 2025 regarding the audit findings by PricewaterhouseCoopers regarding the pilferage of drugs supplied by USAID and other cooperating partners. As a follow-up to our previous media brief, we would like to share some key developments and insights. I'll now hand over to the DG Dave.
Thank you, ma'am. I think you are aware, colleagues, that investigations are ongoing to do with the health sector, which Madam just updated you a bit about, and last time we had a comprehensive interaction with you people in that regard. So today, I wish to announce, remember, we are working as a task force, so I wish to announce that the Drug Enforcement Commission, as a member of this task force, has arrested the former Acting Permanent Secretary for Administration at Ministry of Health, Dr. Sivah Kachimba, alongside other senior ZAMMSA officials and 2 directors of private companies as a consequence of the ongoing investigations in the health sector. The arrests, therefore, bring the total number of individuals charged and arrested in this matter to 10. 4 were arrested earlier, as you might be aware. I'll mention their names. The details are as follows. Dr. Sivah Kachimba, former Acting Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Health Administration, we've charged him with willful failure to comply with laid down procedure in procuring of contracts. We have also arrested one Japhet Piri, a procurement specialist at ZAMMSA, for forgery and uttering of false documents. We have also arrested Sipo Banda, Senior Procurement Officer at ZAMMSA, for conspiracy to commit a felony. We also have Chandana Panje, Senior Procurement Officer at ZAMMSA. We have charged him with the offense of conspiracy to commit a felony, forgery, and uttering false documents. We have also arrested Godfrey Kabengele, Director at Mukushi Business Venture. Offense, dealing in allied substances without a pharmaceutical license, and also for money laundering. We have also arrested Kakombe, Director at Lumumba Pharmaceuticals. Offense, obtaining pecuniary advantage by false pretenses and money laundering, while his co-accused, who was already arrested for other offenses, Chimunya Collins Habadu, who is yet to be arrested, he is yet to be arrested right now for obtaining pecuniary advantage by false pretenses, forgery, and uttering of false documents. Let me add that I mentioned there are 4 that were arrested earlier, and we are now getting ready for court. Those arrested earlier, for purpose of clarity, were Mr. Victor Nyasulu, former Director General of ZAMMSA, Narishevo Siandi, former Director Supply Planning at ZAMMSA, Benjamin Nsenje, former Finance Manager, Ministry of Health, under Peace Health Projects, and Collins Chimunya Habadu, former Director Procurement at ZAMMSA. Now, colleagues, it's the intention of law enforcement agencies to bring this investigation to a close so that policy directions are revisited to guide the medical supply services to avoid recurrence of what the nation has had to go through over the past, perhaps years, perhaps months. But I thought I'd just mention one little part which might not be very, very connected to this one, but it's also important that you know that in a separate operation in Chirundu area, we've had properties forfeited to the state as Drug Enforcement Commission. And these are huge tracts of land, as well as some buildings which have now been forfeited to the state. For example, we have 9.5 hectares along the Zambezi River, very prime land, 70 hectares near Chiwena School, 10 hectares along Siavonga Road, 43.1 hectares in Mwingi Village along Kafiwe River, and then we have 170 hectares of farmland near Zamtel. all these have been forfeited to the state, including the properties that have been built on the particular pieces of land. And then other information suggests that the owner of these pieces of land also obtained 2,000 hectares of land in Siavonga, which is distributed in tracts of 250 hectares. Again, this is land which is obtained using illegal sources of money, as we established in our investigations, and the courts agreed with us, and these properties and lands have been forfeited to the state. I just thought I mentioned that one as well. Back to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, you may recall that the audit findings also related or referred to conflict of interest involving senior ZAMMSA officials. I want to confirm today that the anti-corruption focused on investigating those allegations in accordance with Section 28 of the Anti-Corruption Act number 3 of 2012. In the forensic report, ladies and gentlemen, it was alleged that a Mr. Kennedy Lambwe-Saini, who owned 𝐚𝐧𝐝 Pharmacy, which is situated opposite the UTH, served on 4 different committees without declaring interest. It was also alleged that a Miss Monica Banda, who previously worked at 𝐚𝐽𝐾 Pharmacy, was also an employee as an inventory officer at ZAMMSA. Another allegation in the report is that a Mr. Chisotwa Muyembe, a district surveillance officer stationed at Kafue District Hospital, is a shareholder in OMC Pharmacy, and that this shareholding conflicts with his current role in the Ministry of Health. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to confirm that we have since investigated and concluded, and that our findings are that Mr. Saini was in fact a board member of ZAMMSA and sat on the 4 said committees. His appointment was based on the fact that he was a member of the Pharmaceutical Society of Zambia, as provided for under the ZAMMSA Act. It was further established that Mr. Saini is indeed a director and a shareholder of 𝐶𝐽𝐾 Pharmacy Limited, together with a Mrs. Sylvia Chikula Saini. However, the investigations have been able to establish that 𝐶𝐽𝐾 Pharmacy Limited has never supplied medicines and medical supplies to ZAMMSA, contrary to the findings. You may also wish to know that 𝐶𝐽𝐾 Pharmacy does not own a pharmaceutical license, which is a requirement and a basis upon which any entity can supply medicines to ZAMMSA. Further, board members, of course, are required to declare interest and should, as a matter of fact, declare interest should that issue arise. The issue never arose. It was further established that a Mrs. Monica Banda has in fact never worked for 𝐶𝐽𝐾 Pharmacy or ZAMMSA in the capacity that was indicated. Regarding OMC Pharmacy Limited shareholding, our investigations as ACC have established that Mr. Chisotwa Muyembe is indeed an employee of Ministry of Health as District Surveillance Officer at Kafue District Hospital. He is also a director and shareholder in OMC Pharmacy Limited. However, the Ministry of Health guidelines as they stand do not prohibit employees from owning pharmacies, but that they are discouraged from supplying medical supplies to ZAMMSA to avoid conflict of interest. It was established that OMC Pharmacy has never supplied medicines or indeed medical supplies to ZAMMSA from the time they were established in 2024 to date. You may wish to know that some of the allegations with regard to ZAMMSA senior officials, ladies and gentlemen, were extracted from social media postings. Most of these could not be substantiated by our investigations. We want to mention here that although the Commission values the role that informers and whistleblowers play in the fight against corruption, It is imperative that information provided for is cross-checked to avoid misleading members of the public.